As the title suggests, this video is intended to reveal the many shortcomings of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. For full transparency, I was and still am a Splash Mountain diehard. I believe it was the best attraction at Magic Kingdom and amongst the best at Disneyland, and I know that many others agreed. Therefore, I am biased. But everyone is in their own way, and I intend to present a thorough and logical reasoning for why the ride is disappointing, both for the average park guest and for Disney as a whole. I will also have a follow-up to this video on what Disney could have done instead of what we ended up with, which is part of why the ride is such a letdown. That video is linked at the end of this video. It's also important for me to share that I am a fan of the Princess and the Frog movie. It's not my favorite, but it is a strong part of the Disney animated lineup, especially being Disney's last hand-drawn film. It has a decent story, great visuals, an exceptional villain, and perhaps most importantly, a strong takeaway lesson. These features make the flop of a ride even more frustrating. There were numerous positives to work from, and none of them were properly utilized in the attraction. Let's start with the easiest, undeniable criticism. Disney put Tiana, a beloved princess aimed mostly towards a younger audience, on a thrill ride with a minimum height requirement barring them from even riding it in the first place. If you're a little girl who loves Tiana, you can go to Magic Kingdom and just look at the ride and be sad that you're left out. If I was only 37 inches tall and loved Tiana, I'd be distraught. That's a bad look for Disney. Sure, you can wait in a long line to meet Tiana herself, but it would have been nice if she had her own family-friendly ride. Maybe a relaxing, dark boat ride through the movie scenes could have been constructed around certain areas they're destroying. Speaking of areas Tiana's makes sense, New Orleans Square in Disneyland fits perfectly given the setting of the movie. I'd rather have Splash Mountain, but I have no issues with Tiana's fitting in over in California. But why does Disney keep copying plans from Disneyland and dropping them into Disney World? Star Wars Land in Hollywood Studios has nothing at all on this side of the path because there wasn't any room to build in Disneyland. But there could have been in Disney World. Instead, it's just a wall with trees in front of it. Tiana's feels forced into the space the same way. It just doesn't quite fit in Frontierland as it is now. The second big problem with Tiana's is the location, the setting of the film. Frontierland's theme has been absolutely gutted by Disney. It's obviously supposed to represent America's westward expansion, but it's not just that. Walt described it as a tribute to the faith, courage, and ingenuity of the pioneers who shaped America. His vision for this land was to showcase the color, romance, and drama of the 19th century American frontier, with icons like covered wagons, stagecoaches, riverboats, and the developing wilderness. Tiana's, and New Orleans in general, could fit within this theme. Red Dead Redemption, the video game, exemplifies this, but in the game, surrounding areas match to fit the theming. In Frontierland, there is no surrounding area that would match with New Orleans. Well, I guess there used to be some theming that would match. The Liberty Bell would fit in nicely, and it's convenient that the Princess and the Frog even has a similar riverboat in the movie. Unfortunately, that's all being replaced by Lightning McQueen. All in all, Frontierland's theme could have been bended a little bit to include New Orleans and Tiana if the stories matched up. Yet Tiana's Bayou Adventure pushes a plot of an employee-owned food business with a raft ride on top of a mountainous salt flat. As you're probably aware, New Orleans is at sea level. Therefore, this makes no sense, and it's probably only going to get worse once Cars is finished. Now, to be fair, Splash Mountain didn't fit all that well into Frontierland's theme either, but at least the color scheme matched the land, not this new third rainforest cafe location at DisneyWorld. The story was also based on folklore, not finding musicians, which better matches to the old-timey theme of Frontierland. Speaking of finding musicians, Tiana's Bayou Adventure has a horrible plot for a theme park ride. It has absolutely nothing to do with the content of the Princess and the Frog film, and completely strays away from the core lesson of the film. The movie has plenty of scenes that would translate perfectly to a ride, especially given the villain and key feature of Splash Mountain, the big drop. More on that in the follow-up video on how Tiana's could be fixed to be better. The fact of the matter is that in The Princess and the Frog, Tiana shows no key interest in being a musician, no interest in gathering attention to herself by throwing a big party, no interest in finding new friends, and no interest in creating an employee-owned food business that's actually owned by a large corporate monopoly. She just wants to work her way up to her dream of owning a restaurant. Even after Prince Naveen comes along, her goals do not change. So why is the plot of the ride that Tiana, the new Jungle Cruise explorer, needs you to find musicians to play at her big party to then show off to everyone in a new fancy dress? It's the complete opposite of her character from the film. It's because Disney was at it again with their brand synergy plans. They had announced a Disney Plus series titled Tiana in 2020, slated for release in 2023, which was meant to follow the princess's new adventures as a sequel to the film. Presumably, this included animal characters to befriend and more adventurous types of stories to be told, as they could incorporate Naveen's Maldonia home into the plot. It was officially cancelled in March 2025. Regardless of any source material, a theme park ride should exist on its own without a guest needing to know information prior to the ride to enjoy it. Disney has done movie tie-ins for forever, such as with Dinosaur. My last video was a retrospective on why Dinosaur should not have closed last month. If you're interested in that, just click on the screen right here. But rides like Dinosaur or Flight of Passage do not generally require the audience to know anything about the movie characters to understand the ride. I guess with Tiana's, you don't need to know anything about her character either, since it actually makes what is happening more confusing if you know that the ride version of Tiana has completely different motivations than her movie version. The plot of the ride is also impossibly shallow. On a surface level, here's what's happening. Tiana is just standing in a barn telling you to go find some musicians. You float through a garden, then enter the bayou and immediately find those musicians. They're right there. Mission accomplished, no need to continue on. Well, then she tells you to find more musicians because they're not enough. Okay, sure, whatever, Tiana. So then you keep floating down, and some voodoo lady shrinks you down to tiny size, which most guests wouldn't even understand because the audio is a bit tough to hear sometimes. Or the video screen isn't working, as was the case on this ride. Regardless, then we're small, and we find some more musicians. Perfect. Just remember to ask if they'll perform at the party. There's also this screen on the right which I just can't stand. I get that it's to reiterate your tiny size by showing you a giant Tiana and Louis, but it looks horrible. The animation is awkward since it's not consistent with the Princess and the Frog from the movie, and not consistent with the real animatronic look. Their movements are also weird, and it just really ruins the scene for me. Now we're going up a spooky lift hill. Seems treacherous, especially since you already saw the big drop of the ride from the outside. But there's no real build-up, it's all been hunky-dory, find the musical animal so far. If only there was a villain in The Princess and the Frog that conjured spooky shadows which could be projected on the wall, threatening you as you climb up this hill. Or even a trippy scene where there are pretty colors shining around you that would make you feel worried before the drop. When you do get to the top, Mama Odie tells you it's just a shortcut to get to Tiana's party faster. Okay, why would I plummet to my death to get to a party faster? It doesn't make any sense. Oh well, you go down the drop, around the loop past my favorite character, and then into Tiana's Bayou mansion. What kills me about this scene is the stardom of Tiana. She is center stage, performing over everyone else. The other movie characters are here, but they're just basic figures. She wants all the attention, which again just does not make sense based on the plot of the film. Her restaurant is just an afterthought as you float through, and the villain of her story is never mentioned at all. Collectively, it just doesn't add up, and it isn't engaging at all to a rider. There is no real plot. You're asked to find musicians, and within a minute, you succeed, because they're all just sitting there in the next show scene. Then you encounter a few random drops while allegedly floating down the Mississippi River Delta into the bayou, which again, has no mountains, before arriving at Tiana's fancy house for her to show off. At least when she isn't experiencing back problems. This might come as sort of a cheap criticism, but it's completely valid given that the ride received brand new animatronics for the Tiana overlay. The figures just don't work, and they have not worked properly since the ride started with cast and pass holder previews months before the ride officially opened. Even now, the animatronics often don't work properly, parts are exposed, or they're experiencing other issues. This is simply not acceptable for new rides, and it's become a common problem for Disney to deal with. It's fair to expect that the new things work as intended, but the animatronics clearly don't want to cooperate. I think that statement gets to the heart of the issue here. Tiana's Bayou Adventure was not created in a cooperative manner. Everything seems to misalign to what would be expected for an attraction that is based on The Princess and the Frog. You could take out Tiana and replace her with Figment, and it would make the same amount of sense. Actually, it would make more sense. You're going to Figment's open house, and he wants you to bring the entertainment. He could find the touch, taste, and smell elements, and he wants your help finding something pleasant to the ears. That would be the exact same plot as Tiana's Bayou Adventure. He could be the new pioneering spirit Frontierland was looking for. I digress, but that's not a bad idea. The attraction just leaves so much to be desired for all riders. I know it still has long wait times and sells lightning lanes, but that's more due to the genius track layout intended for Splash Mountain than anything else. It just seems like no one put all that much attention to detail into the components for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Take this car out front, for example. During the time period of The Princess and the Frog, and for a good portion of history that still exists today, the art of pinstriping cars, physically painting the lines onto the car body, was how things were done. It would have been cool to see Disney pay a real artist to come and paint this car. But no, it's just computer-printed graphics. Things like that are what used to make Disney impressive, but they just don't happen as much anymore. It's not that I hate Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I'm just disappointed in it. It feels like an unfinished idea that was barely storyboarded that somehow got approved by an executive because they liked the idea of musical animals. Tiana's is a bad ride mainly because it falls so far short of what it could have been, given the strength of the ride layout and easily transferable plot points from The Princess and the Frog film. It's still a fun ride worth going on, there are just so many ways it could be improved. That's why I came up with some fixes for the ride. The changes that could and should have been made when initially planning the retheme from Splash Mountain to Tiana's, like changing up the whole plot of the ride, and changes that could still be made now to improve the ride experience just a little bit. That video is on the screen now, and if you made it this far along, I'm sure you'll find it interesting. Anyway, it would be awesome if you could like the video and let me know in the comments what you think of the ride. I know plenty of people still enjoy it, I just don't find many arguments for the retheme being better than Splash Mountain. And it's always disappointing when Disney spends the money to make a change, only for the new thing to be worse off than its predecessor. Regardless how you feel, I hope you have a zippity-doo-dah day, and thank you for watching.